I could be with anyone. You're here with me. You're here with me. You could be around for
You could be with anyone, and I could be with anyone. You're here with me. You're here with me.
Hey people, what's going on? It's James from My Take on Reality. I had a little technical difficulty. I was talking, nobody was listening. If you guys can hear me, go ahead and drop a one in the chat so that way I can be sure that you guys can hear what I'm saying. Hear what I'm saying. I'll give a few moments to let that happen. Hopefully everybody's having an awesome day. Thank you so much, Rosemond Harris. Uh very excited about moving into some of our new format. As discussed before, we're still going to be talking about sister wives in the Brown family, but I wanted to expand the conversation a little more. I want to talk about some different things. I have some things to do with my camera, so I wasn't able to put a visual up. So this will be a voiceover segment. I did find some stuff that I needed to do, some workarounds for my camera, so I'm looking forward to getting that back up. Because what I have planned might need a little visual assistance. Um, Tonight, we're going to do the SpeakPipe. So, again, if you guys want to leave a message on SpeakPipe, you're more than welcome to leave a message about SpeakPipe, talking about whatever it is I talk about on the show, or whether it's sister wives or any of the other topics that I bring up. Or if you want to talk about something else, just leave a message for it. We can talk about it. That's how we're going to kind of do it moving forward. In addition, we didn't get a whole lot of speak pipes this week. I think people are a little burnt out talking about the Browns. And if we're going to be honest, there's really not that much to talk about. They don't have a whole lot going on. It's kind of is what it is. So what I did was I'm going to I pulled some things from TikTok that I thought were interesting. And I figured we could have a little conversation about some of these topics, get a little reaction. So that way we're going to expand the common sense, the common sense theme that we try to run with the Brown family. We're going to expand it out to other things as well. Because, I mean, if we're going to play it, like, we're going to be honest about it. A lot of the stuff that happens on the Brown family with the sister wives, shit, a lot of it is very rudimentary, basic stuff that's not really that hard. If you understand the players, you understand the motivations. It's not hard to see a lot of the things that are going on within the family, why the family's not working out, et cetera, et cetera. Thank you so much, Lori. Appreciate it. Thank you, Wendy. So I'll give a few more moments for people to be able to jump in. Jack over set. What's going on? Sale. Hey, hey, hey. What's happening? What's happening? Karen, Rosemond in the house. Yeah, so we'll be doing that, and hopefully and then eventually, like, what I want to do is, if I do those bigger segments, I might be able to cut them down and put them on the My Take channel, and then just do the lives on the My Take Live channel, and let that be that. Let it speak for itself. But like I said, with Sister Wives, the Brown family, I'm kind of at a point now where I'm over it. Yeah, so this is kind of where we are. Sale, what's going on? All right, so yeah, well, and then the show probably won't be that long, so we have some time at the end. Maybe we'll do something a little different as well. Just spice it up. All right, so let's see. We had two folks who left questions or comments on SpeakPipe. Both commenters talked about the Brown family with Cody and Robin and all their foolishness. So we'll get into it. What's going on, Carmel Cuties? Oh shit! So they done messed up pick Karma Cutie for jury duty. Now, you know what? As much as just a little side tangent, um, you know, just a little side tangent. My position on jury duty, I get it. It's a pain in the ass. I get it. It's an inconvenience. I get it. Nobody wants to do it. It's like you're underpaid. You know, if you work at a job, especially now with this economy, you're working 2, 3 jobs just so you can miss out on paying like 4, 5 bills. You know, we're in that kind of economy. So you're working 4 jobs, so you only have like 5 of your bills late this month. I get it. Like jury duty can be, it could be economically burdensome. But if you think about it and you put that shoe on that other foot, if I did something and somebody falsely accused me of a crime that I did not commit, or I did commit a crime, and I'll have an overzealous prosecutor who wants to throw the book at me, and even though I admit I did it, this guy wants to, go crazy. I need a jury. There's a reason why we have a jury of your peers. There's a reason why we don't have just legal experts making these decisions, because we're part of this society. We're part of this community. We're part of this system. And the only way this system works is if we all participate in it. Like, for instance, with like we could all sit around and complain about politics all day long. Oh, the Republicans ain't this. The Democrats ain't that. The president don't do shit. The Congress don't do nothing. The justices from the Supreme Court, they all in the pockets for everybody else. And it's a terrible situation. And there's nothing we can do. Here's the thing. In our system of government, we the people are in control. We're the bosses. We're the managers. We're the supervisors. So if our system is failing, if our politicians aren't meeting our needs, if our politicians are making promises to us and not delivering on those promises, and even worse, backtracking on those promises, then it's on us to go back and regulate that system. It's on us to make sure they do what we want them to do. There's a line in a movie called V for Vendetta. I remember when that movie came out. I love that movie. That was my shit, because it hits so many civil points. Like when you talk about like a civil discourse in society, it hits so many civil points. And one of the things that the guy V from Vendetta said was people should never be afraid of their government. The government should be afraid of their people, right? Because we're in charge of this. What is that one line? The biggest trick the devil ever performed on man was making man believe that the devil doesn't exist. The biggest trick the government ever pulled on a people is making the people feel like the government is in control of the people, as opposed to the people being in control of the government. There's more of us, right? So when we participate in our systems, we learn and educate ourselves about the policies, issues, topics, things that are going to happen to us, and what decisions actually mean when they're made on our behalf. When we study those things and we make better choices, then you get better politicians. When you don't study those things and you act out of ignorance, or you use talking points from easy ass talking points from television shows or YouTube channels or whatever, then what happens is the politicians don't have to work as hard. The politicians don't ever have to meet you in places where they need to meet you and provide for you the things they need to provide for you, because all they have to do is sit there and give mouth or lip service to the topics or discussions or issues that they talk about on whatever channel, mainstream news network, whether it's Fox, CNN, MSNBC, or whoever. And then that's all you talk about, but you're not looking at the bigger issues that are affecting your community. Jury duty to me, I say all that to say this, jury duty to me is a lot like that. Because if it was me or my kids sitting there and they facing life in prison for something that they didn't do, I'm relying on those 12 people on in that box. I need those 12 people in that box to pay attention, because it's not a big deal to you when you're going in there and it's a waste of your time, you feel like, and and it makes you feel bad. But let's be honest, what you decide in that box could change somebody's life, whether it's criminal or whether it's civil. I get a little story time. Story time. Then we'll get into the show. If I remember when I was coming out of college, right? Coming out of college, I got called down for jury duty. And I figured out, like, at the time I was with my degree, the degree I was matriculating at the time, I was like, there's no way I'm getting called. If I get called for jury duty, there's no way I'm getting selected. There's no way they're gonna put me in a box. Sure as shit, I got picked. Not only did I get picked, but based on, like I said, the degree I was matriculating, I was the foreman of the jury. And the case was essentially a premises liability case where a landlord owned an apartment. It was basically a two duplex. One house. It was divided into two apartments. And there was a guy who, him and his girlfriend were kind of late on rent all the time, not really half-ass paying, near do well paying. And according to the guy and the young lady, the guy was standing in the alley next to the house. All of a sudden, the house had experienced some erosion and bricks had fallen from the roof, and they landed on top of the guy's head. And the guy put his hand up to cover his head. The brick hit his finger and it broke his finger, right? It scratched his finger. And he was suing for all kinds of money. And we got in, and I'm looking at him like, if that brick would have fell off, that dude never would have made it out the alley if that bricks would have hit his ass. Because these are like these are big houses. These are like 3-story houses, right? Like, that dude never would have made it out the alley. So they go through the case. Now, normally in this type of case, if you are injured on somebody else's property, you are pretty much going to get paid. It's just a matter of how much, right? But we wound up, based on a lot of the story they were telling, I didn't believe the guy was even in the alleyway when the bricks fell. I think they came home, or maybe they heard the bricks fall off the building, because I'm not denying that didn't happen. But I think that when the bricks fell off the building, hit the ground, the guy got the bright idea that he was outside. And when we did that, I remember that guy, we saved that guy's ass, because the guy who owned the building, he didn't know what he was going to do. Because if you just give people what they want, the guy hit the trial lotto, go down and sue somebody, and then all of a sudden, like, we're gonna give you $50 million. I just made that landlord homeless. That's why I say, like, jury duty is the most is one of the most powerful things you can do as a citizen to enforce, because you're also, that juries actually put a check on the judicial system as well, because juries take power away from judges. So you have these guys and gals and walking around with the black robes, and they're not making all the decisions, because now you have to convince regular citizens using a common man, reasonable man standard that this person either committed this crime or is liable for whatever civil case is going on. And again, this is just another way in which our system of government invests power into the citizenship of our country. So a lot of that, I feel for you, Karma Cuties, but you're doing some good work. Like, damn, James, you just talk a lot about jury duty. Yeah, I can't tell you, like, jury duty can save your life, especially if you didn't do the thing that, because that's the thing too. Like, I've always said that. I knew story time. I knew some police officers when I was young, guys who, like, I went to college, and then you come out and they go right into the police academy and all that. And I knew some guys that went into the police academy, and just listening to them talk, the way they matriculate into the police academy and into their positions, there is a normalizing effect that happens when you're talking to somebody who does it every day. When you have a police officer who does it every day, they put handcuffs on people, they take them back, fingerprint them, put them in the cell, then they go through the court system, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Nothing happens to that police officer. So for them putting handcuffs on you and lock you up is not a big deal. Some people, they would break down into a blubbering mess if they were ever handcuffed and put in the back of a squad car just so the police officer could run their license. They would be back there hollering and sobbing and blowing snot bubbles for 20 minutes because a police officer put handcuffs on them. You understand what I mean? Not even accuse them of a crime or arrest them, just detaining them. Oh, my life is over. It's serious. And so when you have that normalizing effect, I remember I worked, I don't necessarily get too much into what I was doing at the time, but I worked at a place and I did, I had received a complaint. Like I worked for a company and we had received a complaint for an auto accident. And I contacted the person who worked for the company who was involved with the auto accident. And they were being sued because they found out that they worked for this big Fortune 500 company. They were going to sue the people that they ran into because it was their fault. They were going to sue them for like $1 million or some ridiculous shit like that, right? And so it said in the petition, we're suing in excess of $550,000 so they can try to get in a federal court, so they can get diversity, so they can take them under, take the company under. And so we're suing for over $50,000. And I get it. I know what it is. It's not a big deal. They're not getting anywhere near the 50,000. I'm looking through the complaint and stuff, and I see the damages and I see the attached medical reports. Like they had some medical reports attached to it because we're assigning it out, to outside counsel. And I'm looking through the report. I'm like, this isn't that bad. Like, it's not a big deal. They're not getting nowhere near that kind of money. Forget diversity. Y'all not getting nowhere near this kind of money. But when I called a person, that's me because I did it all the time. But when I called a person and I was explaining to them, they broke down. They were like, I just bought a house. Should I sell my house? Am I going to lose everything? Is my life ruined? No, you're fine. You know what I mean? You're fine. You're okay. Don't worry about it. We got you. Right? That kind of thing. And judges, I think, are the same way. Lawyers are the same way. You get in and a judge will sit there and give you 5, 10, 15, 20 years. And they say it is easy as peasy, no big deal, because to them it's just Tuesday. But for an average citizen who has to weigh that, if I'm going to put somebody in jail for the rest of their life, you have to give me a reason to put somebody in a cage for the rest of their life. Not just because I show up every day. And this is what we do, so that's another reason why I think jury duty is so important. Sorry, I went off on a tangent, talked 15 minutes about jury duty. Yeah, but let's get into the like I said, we have some good stuff tonight. We're going to do some SpeakPipes. We had 2 people leave SpeakPipe messages, a couple SpeakPipe messages between the 2 of them. And then we're going to get into some of the TikTok reactions. Hopefully you guys like it. Let me know what you guys think at the end of the show, whether you like it, the new format, how I'm doing it. Again, I'm adding the cameras and stuff in a little bit. So we'll have a little bit of a different look, but it should be fun. All right, but let's get to it. Right off the top. Wait, hold on one second. Let me just check something real quick. Oh, we have Neglet 3 with the $5 super chat. Said couldn't send this Tuesday, Love you, my take on reality family. Oh my Negla, come on now. Come on now. Appreciate you calling in, having a conversation with us, you know, giving us your thoughts. Your attendance is appreciated. But I mean I appreciate the super chats too, but your attendance is highly valued. You're a critical member of the team. So let me give Negla a little something something. And my music was crazy, y'all. Y'all ain't gonna believe this. This shit was bumping. Discotheque. We had Negla 3 who gifted one My Take on Reality membership. Make sure you guys check us out on Saturday. I'm in all the days. That's how you know you're getting old. You be calling your kids and you call them everything but they name. You know what I mean? Call them your cousin you ain't seen in 5 years. Look here, Mary Lou. You know who the hell you are. Stop playing with me. Stop looking at your daddy funny. You know I'm talking to, especially when you get pissed. But Negative 3. Make sure you guys check us out on Saturday. We run the members show. Turn the mic over, let the members take the helm and guide us through some of the conversations. Conversation goes where it goes. It is what it is. But it's a lot of fun. It's very informative because we talk about, like I said, kind of even what we're doing tonight. We talk, our conversations span beyond just the realm of sister wives and what's happening with the Brown family. Like we've talked about everything. We talked about childhood trauma. We've talked about medical differences between being in different countries. What even like the differences. Like I learned a lot between like obviously the medical coverages that you have here in America versus the medical coverages, the universal health care that you have in Canada. And even in Canada, the difference in their territories on how they cover certain things and what their expectation is. And it's always interesting to hear people's different perspective because that's what it's about, listening and trying to understand other people's experiences so that way, hopefully, again, as managers, we take that information and just decide how we're going to implement a thing, if we're going to implement a thing, and if we're going to proceed with it, what's the best way to do it? Instead of just relying on somebody sitting there saying, no, 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 call it a name, and then just want to stop the conversation. But thank you so much, Negla. I appreciate you. All right. Got my little heater going. I'll turn that down because it is drying my ass out. Oh, I feel like I'm getting dried out. Okay. So let's get to these speak pipes. See what these speak pipes are talking about. All right. So we have Tanya, Mrs. Kata in the house. Let's check it out.
So there's a YouTuber, Katie, who normally I don't really listen to her, but she did bring up something interesting this week about we all know that the group has been lying. The gang has been lying. But they've been really lying about Robin and how long they've known Robin. We knew that how her and Cody met was a lie. But apparently they've known Robin since Robin was like a little kid. You can join the youth group in the AUB at 12, and apparently they've known Robin since then. I'm not saying Cody was looking at Robin around that time, but there is a season where Mary's talking about, I don't know why Cody's acting like me and him didn't start this family. Robin would have only been 12 at the time, and he's just erasing the fact that he and I started it. And I did always kind of think, like, why would she bring that up? I mean, I know Robin's a lot younger, but why bring up that she was 12 at the time? And then Melanie, when Mary went on Melanie's show, Melanie says to Mary about a field youth trip one time where she has pictures of Robin and Win at Wynn's farm and in the youth group, and she was a little kid because Melanie's mom and Robin's mom were friends. And Mary's like, "Oh yeah, these bitches have been lying. They've known Robin since she was 12." And that's why Mary even said that. So Robin flying down to Utah when she found out Cody was getting a show, she already knew Cody. She had been knowing Cody since she joined the youth group when him and Mary were. So there's a YouTuber
I mean, you know what? I would at this point. I wouldn't put nothing past them. I wouldn't put nothing past them. I mean, you could make the argument that maybe Robin and them because of the way they do shit in AUB, maybe they weren't like best of friends. But Robin definitely would have remembered, and that's where it gets weird to me. Robin definitely would have remembered going to a farm in her youth, and then you just so happen to meet the guy whose father owns that farm. Like you guys go there for activity, but like that was the bestest time. You know, it's like if when you were a kid, you went to Disney World, and then you find out that the person you're dating owns damn Disney World. Their parents own Disney World. You know, maybe Cody wasn't looking at her, but there's a pot like maybe he didn't want to say it because it gets kind of in that Woody Allen territory where you come up, you adopt a child, and then when she turned 18, all of a sudden you decide that you in love with her, you gonna marry her. And it's always the question, at least I always have the question of like, yeah, right, when did this shit start? When did you start looking at her different? Because I don't think it was on her 18th birthday. That's just my opinion. You know. So that's, nobody talks about it, but yeah, that's my opinion on it. So if the fact that Robin might have been very young and Cody was kind of eyeballing her, there's also the possibility that if Robin was very young and he thought she was attractive, he might have always kind of held a fire for her. And I think that would also be in line with why he pursues her, chases her, and even prefers her the way he does. Is because if he was somebody who she was always kind of like, oh yeah, man, she's fine as shit. She's fine as hell. Da da da. And then all of a sudden she becomes available and you wind up dating her later. It's kind of like a bucket list thing almost. It's weird. Like a sexual bucket list. Like you got the one that you always kind of wanted. And it becomes a point of pride. So just saying, like, I'm not gonna rule it out. Like it at this point, like I was saying before, with so much of this sister wives stuff, I guess ultimately it doesn't matter. But I'm about good points though. That's a damn good point. It's a damn good point. Good observation. Here go Tanya Carter part 2.
When him and Mary were leading the youth group. So this would mean that when him and Mary were like the youth group, leaders and sweethearts and whatever, they knew Robin. They knew the little 12-year-olds coming into the youth group and had to mentor them and stuff. So they knew Robin. I don't think they were interested in Robin and bringing her in, even though, if you remember, Cody was interested in a 16-year-old when he was 19. So if Robin had been a little older at the time, maybe, but Robin was a gold digger. So she was going for Preston, I'm assuming because he was a part of the Allred family and was kind of big noise, and she wanted to be big in the AUB, and then that didn't really pan out for her. And then she heard Cody was getting a show, and so she ran back to Utah to jump into that family. But they've been lying to us from day one. They knew who Robin was from The Devil Was a Child, and all of them were children. They knew who Robin was, and this whole thing was a damn setup. So I don't know. I always try and find a reason to not think that Robin is the villain. And now I'm kind of feeling like, man, y'all all knew what it was. Robin just played the game better. I've always said that. You knew what it was.
Yeah, well, you know what? And
When him
like
and Mary were leading.
uh one of the things that, because I've said that too. And I get people's frustration. James, this ain't no damn game. I get it. But if you step back and you look at the raw nature of what Robin did in this family, the raw, rugged, naked truth, what she did was she looked out for her kids. She advocated for her kids. Now, the problem that you could have in that issue, in that sentence, is she promised to look out for all the kids. Like she gave her word that she would look after and value and treat those other children like they were her kids. But for that fact, but for that promise, you could make the argument that Robin did what she was supposed to do. If she's looking out for her kids and she said, look, I don't give a damn what's going on. We have limited resources, limited assets. We have limited opportunities. I'm making sure my kids are getting everything that they need. And, I'm going to get mines. You better get yours. If they all went into it with that same understanding and there were no promises that we were actually going to look out for each other, then Robin did what she was supposed to do. And at the same time, and this is where it gets dangerous. This is what I was saying on Tuesday when I was talking about that first point where I said, what did Sister Wives teach us? What Sister Wives taught us was that if I wanted to run down the rabbit hole, this is along the same line, the same path as this is the way they were raised, this is their culture, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. If I ran down that same path, then I could legitimately make the argument, and I think I could do a pretty good job at it. Make the argument that Robin saying and insisting that Cody be a part of her kids' lives is not a bad thing. Robin saying to the father of her children, you're going to participate in my kids' life. You're going to be an active father and partner with my kids. And I'm going to hold that standard to you. I don't think anybody on its face, I don't think anybody would criticize Robin for doing that. For telling a man, for a mom, a single mom, or even an attached mom to say to her husband or partner or whatever, you're going to be involved with my kids. Get in, get on, or get out and keep it pushing. But we're not going to do this. You come over every now and again and you just dismiss them and blow them off. No, you're going to be involved with my kids. My kids are going to have the things that they need. They're going to have those experiences when they're young with their dad. They're going to have those family experiences with their parents. And that's what we're going to do. And you can, in that same line, you can make the argument that Christine and Mary Janelle should have been doing the same damn thing. They should have been doing the same thing. Those ladies should have been, standing on the desk, going to bat, fighting and scrapping and cussing and spitting to make sure that their kids got everything they need. Don't go along to get along, try to keep Cody ass happy. You make sure that Cody doing what he need to do for your kids because that's your responsibility. If you look at it that way, then it becomes I see what Tanya's trying to say. Like it becomes a little different. Yeah. And again, I think that if you're going to do a family like this, you should commit to the other children. Like I could never imagine myself if I was a single dude and I met a young lady and she had children. I could never imagine a circumstance in which I would tell that young lady that, yeah, F your kids. I'm not here for your kids. I'm just here for you and your bootag. I'm not worrying about their little butts. I'm worried about you. And that's what I'm here for. If I'm going to enter into a relationship with somebody who has kids, then I'm not only making a commitment to that person who I'm trying to be in a relationship with, I'm making a commitment to those kids as well. And so that's where, I guess that's more of a philosophical thing, difference that I would have with Robin. If she's coming into the family, you made a commitment to them kids to try to make their lives better, to try to protect them. She should have the same way, especially if you're going to sit there and make the argument that we're all mothers in this family. Well, mom, you need to advocate for those other kids, even though they're not biologically yours. Cody's over at your house and one of them is celebrating their birthday, even though it's your night, you need to get that child over here so we can get some cake and ice cream. Or we all need to go over to their house and celebrate little cake and ice cream dinners or whatever, so that way that child feels special. And then at some point, all of you need to be adults enough to be able to reciprocate that. So you don't just sit there when it's your kid's birthday. You want the husband and whatever wife he's supposed to be spending the night with to come over and do birthday dinner and cakes and candles, over at your house, at their house. But then when your kid have a birthday, all of a sudden is, oh, I got to have my husband to myself so I can have quiet time. No, it's got to be reciprocal. At least that's my perspective. But we had another one from Tanya.
And the last thing I was going to talk about, James, while you were out, and FYI, if you're going to be out again, please put on your page that you're sick and you will be back, because the interwebs and your community was going crazy. And I include myself. Crazy. I thought Cody was after you. But anyway,
Well, you done got him.
Corey and Carly completely stole your idea while you were sick. So you can't even be sick for a minute. People are all up on your channel, just biting all your ideas. The idea that you were the one when they brought up the catfish that was like, and your community was sending you the book. And you were like, you know what? Maybe I'll go through the book. We'll chop it up because I read it and it looks like, the catfish is crazy and there's more to it, and not to excuse Mary, but we should probably chop it up. Okay. Well, while you were sick, Corey and Carly did exactly what you were going to do. And I've been listening to it and it's kind of funny, but I would still love you to do it because I just like your perspective and your take on things more. But I understand, if now you don't want to do it. But I want it to be noted that James of My Take on Reality came up with the idea to go through the catfish book, not to.
Oh, she got cut off. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe I'll still do it. I might still do it. But it's just like, I don't want to make fun of the fact that or embarrass Mary, because this is something that she's obviously finding humiliating. And I think that it's bad that they keep rolling the shit out to humiliate her and make her feel bad. But I think that it's definitely something. So, because we got to, I'll tell you, I take what you say to heart, and I listen to you. I believe you, because my wife says the same shit. But you get way too much shit, James. You got a big ass mouth. That's your damn problem. But there's some things I want to say about the whole catfish incident. And like I said, I want to look at it in a more complete way, not just how it is a point of humiliation for Mary and why Mary should be embarrassed and why she should be ashamed of herself. I think there's so much more there that we could actually talk about when it comes to that. Because Mary is, yeah, I'm not going to say too much about it, but it's like how Mary fell into the catfish situation. I understand why she fell into it. And not only do I understand how she fell into it, I think that many of us, if not all of us, are subject to the same situation. No matter how proud we feel like we are or how above it we feel like we are, given the right circumstances, we could find ourselves in the exact same situation as Mary. Maybe it's not the romantic part, but there's a lot of ways to get catfished, y'all. A lot of times we just put it on romantic stuff. We do. I know I do. But there's a lot of ways that you can get catfish, and I think we need to explore that. And what is this? Wendy said, James, Mary is crying all the way to the bank. You're not embarrassed to anyone who chooses to be on TV for 20 plus seasons. Yeah. Let's be honest. She's making, that's why they're still on the show. Like, you think she would be getting embarrassed and talking about stuff she don't want to talk about? And it was paying her like $3, $3.99. Like, she couldn't even get a tank of gas. You think she would be talking about the damn catfish? No. They're getting paid. Okay, not just getting paid, they're getting paid. You know what I mean? So, like, they was at one point they was making so much money on that show. People who that's why it was such a big push for like people to try to get interviews with him and shit, chase him around and you know, tickle their bum because they wanted to suckle at the teat of the sister wife stardom. Because there was a time, maybe not as much now, but there was definitely a time where if one of them would have showed up on your show was golden. Your show went to the next level immediately. Yeah, I remember there was somebody who started, I think, a little bit after me. They have a very popular channel now, and they said something on a channel. All of a sudden, Mary had came out and she made like an off little comment about the channel. She didn't even say the person's name. She made a little off comment about him. Then all of a sudden, their channel blew up. You know, so like that's how popular they were at one point. They could make a channel just by merely getting up and saying da 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 da, saying such and such about me. You know, there's a couple people because there's another person I just thought about. Very very popular YouTuber. In fact, I would say one of the, as far as content numbers and views and members and stuff, one of the leaders of Sister Wife reaction and commentary. Uh, Part of the reason why their show is so popular, I think, they do a lot of work. I'm not dismissing that or diminishing that, but I think that part of the reason why the show is so popular is because they've had a few instances where uh, Cody and them have come out against them and said some things about it. So, just saying. Yeah, but this is not only are the cast going to the bank, all the podcasters are going to the bank. They will never let Mary pass in the past be in the past. Well, I mean, I think part of the reason why I'm not going to the bank, I wish I was, but I think that the reason why it keeps getting brought up is especially as heavily as it is, and there's so much focus on it, is because of lazy production and the unwillingness of the cast to explore any new ideas or issues. They don't have anything else to talk about. Like if you think about it, the three things you really talked about during last season, the apology tour, Coyote Pass, Coyote Pass extended into the backdoor deal, and then they brought up the catfish. If they actually had a real season, those three issues probably wouldn't even been brought up. Maybe the backdoor deal with the County Pass, maybe. But if they actually had a show and they were actually talking about shit, they wouldn't even like the catfish. Like I said, I mean, how mad can I really be at Mary about the catfish thing? That was like 10, 15 years ago with a man that she's been divorced from for at least like the same amount of time, if not longer. Like what? Yes, she was a bad person 10 years ago. Shit. I don't feel like I could be judged on stuff I did 10 years ago. I don't think that shit's fair. 10 years ago, you said some things that hurt my feelings. Get over it. What are you talking about? It was 10 years ago. You don't even mess with me anymore. We're not interacting with each other. It's not like it's a constant reminder of something that I did to you or how I ran afoul to you. And then all of a sudden I'm ruining your life on a daily basis. Like this has nothing to do with you. The reason why she fell victim to the catfish is because Cody was spending all his time with Robin's house. When the catfish thing came out, all he did was spend more time at Robin's house. So he basically did the thing he always wanted to do, and he just had an excuse to do it. So what are we talking about? I'm so scarred and PTSD. I don't feel safe. Shut up. Shut up. That didn't make no sense. That's why I'm like, I wasn't even a fan when they brought it up. I was like, here we go with this bullshit. But I mean, I think there are some things we could talk about. That's why part of me too. I was like, I wish Mary would just come out and be like, yeah, I did the shit. But Cody was a piece of crap. He abandoned me, and put it where it is. Tell the truth about it. So that way we can stop talking about it. They can stop hitting you with it. I said that about 4 seasons ago. You know. Yeah, Sale said when they talk about last season, I blanked, didn't remember a thing because it was that forgettable. A vacant lot and a catfish carcass. Yeah, yeah. This is also the season we met Brody. Who gives a shit? Like, well, she got a boyfriend. Okay, you know. So, but let's get back to the joint. We have Ann part one.
Hi, James. This is Ann. Giving my quick take on Sister Wives. I watched your show on Tuesday, and you asked, "What have we learned about polygamy?" I believe that was your question. And from the
Yep.
Brown family, I've learned that they are just like the other polygamous families. As much as they try to differentiate themselves from people like Warren Jeffs and other polygamous groups that we've known about and from the news with a negative light, well, we've watched them be abused all of the 20 seasons that they've been on TV. We've watched the women be pitted against each other. We've watched the kids be pitted against each other. And we've watched how polygamy stunts each and every one of these women and children negatively mentally. We've watched how they've deteriorated mentally. We saw one of their children, unfortunately, take his life. And nothing about polygamy to me seems, no matter what organization or what family you're a part of, nothing about it seems positive. It's all centered around the man and getting off whatever his sick fantasies are. And the women sit back and fight amongst each other to get his approval, and same with the children. The children now that are adults and even truly that's still a minor, they're seeking Cody's approval and he doesn't even give a damn.
Mm, mm, mm. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna go to Ann too, and then we're gonna circle back. As a matter of fact, let me address it right now. Uh, I agree. When we talk about what we've learned and the takeaways from polygamy, I 100% agree that the way it came off by the end of the series, they desperately tried to make it seem that they were different, separate, and apart from like groups like Warren Jeff, the FLDS, the Kingston group, so on and so forth. But what we found was the abuses were still there. They were just far more subtle. And one of the things that I didn't like and I don't like about the whole controversy with the sister wives polygamy and the way they practice it is that it's too easy to look at this family and say the reason why this family is jacked up is because of the failure of leadership of Cody. The reason this family is jacked up is because of the failure of parenting, mothering, and partnering of his wife, Robin. That's why this didn't work out. And what that leads to is that you know what could fix it? If you have a man who's compassionate and cares and does this, that, and other, then these problems wouldn't exist. If you have a person who makes wise decisions as far as who he's going to marry, and he marries the right the right women, but specifically the right woman, and he brings her into the family, then this family would have survived and it would have thrived. And that's what concerns me about some of the presentation that they do on TLC, that it never touches into the broader scope of what a thing is, because polygamy isn't just about how Cody treats his wives. It's also about the system in which it operates in. I'm going to say that one more time. Polygamy doesn't just talk about how Cody treats his wives and what his attitude is towards his wife. It's the system that this institution operates in. Like, for instance, Cody could have every right. It could be normalized that, if one of his wives talk back to him or say the wrong thing to him, he could sweep her legs, right? In public, he could sweep her legs and put on her back. And because Cody chooses not to do it, I'm supposed to pretend like it's different. Oh no, they would never do that. They would never. They would never. No, that's not how they do things on polygamy. It's not the fact that Cody did or didn't do it. It's the fact that he could do it. The fact that he could make the decision. The fact that when he looked at his wives and he said, yeah, we're going to get back to patriarchy, and he was making that as a decision, he wasn't asking them shit. He wasn't saying, hey, guys, what do you think about maybe we change things up and we start pursuing an avenue where you guys basically are answerable and subservient to me, and that's something new we're going to do. What do you think about it? Because this is new and this has nothing to do with our belief systems or anything else. I'm going to go out on a crazy limb because I got a wild hair up my ass. That's not what happened. He was taking advantage of a lever that exists within the system of the institution that he was a part of. He probably had men at that church counseling him. You know what your damn problem is? You give these women too much damn freedom. They got too much choice. That's why your house is a mess. We sit here and we talk about how put together the Darker family was, the bald-head guy with the two sisters and the cousin who married. They all got, the sister and the cousin got married on the same day. Then later he brought the twin in and married her. When rubber meets the road, he is a very controlling. You can tell, and this is just my opinion. This is my opinion. Don't try to sue me, Joe Dogger. But this is my opinion. From what I saw in that show and the little hints I got, little, context clues I picked up on, I think Joe Dogger is a controlling dude. I don't think that they're sitting down there voting on shit. I don't think it's a democratic system. I think that he's running that family. And I don't think that if it comes out in the church that that's how he's conducting his family, I don't see the elders in that church saying, hey, bruh, you have to respect your wife. Hey, bruh, you have to make sure your wife is included. She feels secure. She feels safe, that her kids are being provided for. Because why? Because that's the institution. And just because you don't take advantage of the advantages you have within the institution doesn't mean that the institution is somehow different, improved, or is operating at a higher intellectual capacity than it was before. No, it's still the same shit. The only difference is that it's just being wrapped up and packaged in a different way to make it more acceptable to the masses. And that's kind of why I was bringing up the whole idea of, what is Sister Wives as a show? What have they provided us? They gave us an off ramp. They gave us an off ramp to where we could look at people like, we talked about plural families or polygamy. We didn't really look at the institutions. We looked at the cult of personality. And we decided somewhere down the line that polygamy wasn't bad. It was just the people and the men who were doing it who were evil ass men. They even said that during the UNLV debate, where you had the young lady Melanie talking about the terrors and horrors of things that she went through as part of the Kingston group. And you had Christine, especially, sitting on the couch crying, talking about, I didn't realize that there was evil men like this, that men could be so evil, when they were doing the same shit in the AUB. They're doing the exact same thing in the AUB. Maybe they weren't marrying their cousins right off the rip, but the abuses and stuff, her mama left the family because of like how she was being treated. I'm just saying, it becomes too easy. It becomes too easy for us just to focus on, like, yeah, Cody, the way he comes off on the show, he comes off like an asshole. Absolutely. Robin comes off like an asshole. Absolutely. But it's too easy to just say that it's them, it's not the system. The system gives them the ability to do half the shit that they were doing. It gives them an out. It gives them a way to be able to continue doing the things that they're doing the way they're doing it. You know? It was this Karma Cuties. What I cannot stand is a mofo who stays stuck in a victim mentality. Like a lot of what Mary was going through with Cody, she did it to her damn self. Cody ain't innocent, but he was real with her in her face. Yeah. He said, "What's that on your chin?" I don't know. 5 fingers to the face. Yeah, because he was, yeah. Because I don't give a shit. She was like, he was real good in private. Look, you can't. I don't give a shit what you do to me in private. Yeah, I mean, we could be tearing it down in private, but when we get in public and you cussing me out, making me look bad, and calling me names and shit, trying to embarrass and humiliate me, we can't do that. You know what I mean? Come on, James. I'm gonna roll them toes up. Nah, baby, no. You got me looking like a sucker out here. Because do I think Cody was going back talking shit to her, different stuff? Yeah, behind closed doors. But then when you get me out in public, you want to humiliate me? Nah. I'm good. And I know somebody, James, you don't understand how it works in these communities. I get it. And let's be honest. Part of the trapping is that, as the sister wives and the OG3 have said many, many times before, it's not just in polygamy that this stuff happens. It happens in monogamy too. You have somebody who'll be nice to you in public or nice to you in private, and loving, caring, concerned, romantic. They bring home flowers. They tell you how pretty you are and blah, blah, blah. But then when you get out in front of two people, all of a sudden you the dumbest thing says, you dumb as a damn submarine with screen doors. You just don't make sense. And then you're the butt of the joke. You're the one that they laughing at, not the one they laughing with, the one they laughing at. Then all of a sudden it's, but he good to me in private. Well, you don't need a man who's just going to be good to you in private, boo-boo. I don't care what the church tell you. I don't care what your people tell you. I don't care how you grew up. You don't need somebody who's only going to be nice to you when nobody's around to see them, mistreat you. But when you show up to a crowd, you're a prop for their amusement. Bump that. But let's get to this last SpeakPipe, and we're gonna move on to the TikTok reactions. Got some beaters. Let's go and two.
Hi, James. This is Ann. Quick Sister Wives Part 2 is, I know you talked about topics of what can be discussed. And one of the things that I was thinking about, especially what just came across the news with Rihanna and her house being shot up by a deranged fan hater, and how much, sometimes fans or haters of a particular celebrity can go too far. There was a video that Peyton did not too long ago talking about fans have coming up to him and saying that they hate his father. I think McKelty has said the same thing, that fans have, she's seen fans and they've talked about how they don't like her father or his particular mother in the family. And that can be a little bit too much. So fans who go too far, there's no reason why you should be shooting up anyone's home. There's no reason why you should be approaching people's kids or just them in general if you're going to be negative. Now, if they approach you, then it is what it is. But approaching other people's kids, I think that's going too far. And also, I see McKelty just said that with her little wrap up, that Cody is still not in communication with any of his kids. So that can't be a topic for the next season if it does air. But that's just my quick take.
Oh, yeah, I agree. I agree. And even when it came out about Janelle and that whole thing, my chief concern, I get it. People are upset about stuff. They get said. They have people they trying to protect. Look, I don't want none of y'all going to jail behind somebody else's bullshit. All right, because it's not worth it. You know, if you want to do time for your kids. Do time for your family. Doing something for your family. And like going up to like the OG 13, talking about, running Cody and Robin down. Like it doesn't matter. We're going to have how we feel about them, irregardless of whether if I'm gonna feel about them the way I feel about them. And I don't care if I was standing in the store face to face with them or whatever the case may be. I would say what I'm gonna say and have the feeling I'm gonna have. At the same time, I don't need to say that to their kids because their kids, what I think about Cody is irrelevant when it comes to the OG 13. Because those kids may have the capacity to forgive him for things that I might not ever be able to look past. You know, I just nope. I couldn't do it. But Isabel, for instance, when she talks about her dad to this day, she talks about her dad to this day. She does the tough Tony talk. I don't need my dad. Same thing with Big G's. Yeah, I don't need him. We don't need him right now. We good, you know. But even in that statement, you can see how much that shit hurt him. And you can see how much it actually affects those kids. And so who am I to jump in somewhere and start telling them that they parent ain't shit? And they need to hate their mom or hate their dad because it's just not in them. One of the things I've said a long time ago, discovery I made a long, long time ago, is that when one of the scary things is because I think my kids are good people. And one of the scary things is watching your kids who you think are good people and recognizing that they're going to have a harder time existing in this world because they are good people. They give people the benefit of the doubt. They are the first ones to try to help somebody out or do things. I remember we went on vacation with my story time. Went on vacation with my kids, my family. Went somewhere, and there was a young man. He was brought on the trip by his family, right? And he had special needs. He was handy capable, but he had severe limitations. And what his family used to do is they would go to breakfast or whatever, and they would park his ass in a chair, and he would be in one section of the dining hall or whatever, dining area, and they would go off and sit somewhere else. And I was doing some stuff, and I walk by and say hi to the young man. And I remember my daughter, she went over and she sat down. She pulled a chair out, said, "Hey, how you doing?" And she sat down with him, and she sat with that boy every day we were on vacation. And she would, whether it was breakfast, lunch, or dinner, whatever. Well, dinner we ate as a family, and we didn't see him. But for breakfast or lunch, yeah, and then she got him involved in some like activities and things like that because she's a good person, And I was very impressed with that. And it's things like that when I see that, I recognize that in a world that is so selfish and can be so cruel, that people who are good people operate from a point of disadvantage. You understand what I mean? Like it's crazy. They operate from a point of disadvantage because they're so willing to be giving, so willing to be open, so willing to try to be you know, decent to other people that they're easier to manipulate and take advantage of, because with, especially when you're dealing with somebody who doesn't have a conscience, doesn't have that gear or that part in them that make them feel shame because they were, like I said, the people, I couldn't believe that shit. Like, they just dropped you off. Like, what are you doing here by yourself? Where your people at? Oh, they just doing stuff and stuff. It was, I don't know. But yeah, that shit was crazy. But it's just, eh, when kids are like that, and you have, especially if we think the OG 13 are good kids, then they're going to find forgiveness in their hearts. They're gonna find a way to look past the ills of their parents and try to find the good parts of their parents. They're gonna not hold grudges, and we have to be very careful to. You're right, Terry. Take that Social Security. Yeah, they did. But we have to be careful to keep their feelings in mind, because in our zeal to try to defend OG 13 and protect them and defend them, and Cody can't treat them this way because you made them feel bad, we could be the source of that pain, because I think all of them have taken turns saying that people have come up to them, whether it's McKelty or Maddie or what's his name, Peyton, have all said that people will just walk up out of nowhere, be like, your dad's an asshole. Like, who the hell want to be out shopping for, you in the biscuit aisle or shopping for cornbread or some shit, and somebody walk up to you and start talking shit about your parents, unsolicited, whether you get along with them or not. And I appreciate that too, because I'm kind of like that. That's how I grew up. I have a younger brother, and if I had a disagreement with my younger brother, I could call him a jerk, an asshole all day long. Terrible shit. I could say terrible things about him. But the truth of the matter is, you better not say nothing bad about him. And to be honest with you, you better be careful about how much you agree with me when I do say it, because that could also be a problem. Like, he's such a dumbass. This dumbass dude. What the hell is he thinking? I know your brother dumb. What'd you say? Excuse me? Oh, no. You don't talk about my people like that. You know what I mean? So you gotta be careful. But and again, like, take care of yourselves, because there's so much stuff that's going on now that we got to be careful. We're taking care of our family, and we don't get wrapped up in taking care of people who, one, as Wendy pointed out earlier, these are millionaires. I've said this shit before. They might not have $1 million in the bank, but they have made millions of dollars doing this show. And so before I sit over there and start trying to defend them and all this, I got to recognize they bills is paid. Okay. They bills are paid. And if I go over there and create a problem, I still got to try to figure out how to pay my shit. I still got responsibilities. And so this is Karma Cutie said, I don't understand how people would come up to a stranger, because that's what they are, even though we watch them on TV, to say that you hate them or that their parent is an asshole. What the entire hell? That's what I mean. Like, you gotta be careful what you say to people. I know, like, and I get it. We live in this, the keyboard warrior world. Walking up to somebody and saying that shit to their face. Danger zone! Like, you're in the damn danger zone, player. That shit. Woo! That's how you can get strapped naked out there playing around that game. Because you don't know where they at. Because that's another thing. We don't know. We just know what we saw in the last season or whatever, when they weren't getting along. You might walk up to them and be like, your dad ain't shit. And they just left having a really productive, cool meeting with their dad. Their relationship is turned around and it's better now. Yeah. Ann said we can have an opinion, just don't take it personal because we don't know them. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think it's fair play. And I want to be very clear about this. I think it's completely fair play for you to watch a show and based on the storyline, the commentary, the positions, and the perspectives that's presented on the show for you to derive an opinion based on what you see. I think that's not only acceptable, I think that's pretty much what I do. Like, I'd be a hypocrite if I said I didn't do that. But I also recognize that the world don't rise and set in the crack of my ass. What I think about things, everybody don't need to know what I think about things. Right? I've used the comparison of the guy who's in the gym and there's a young lady working out and she's fit or whatever and attractive. You don't gotta walk your ass across the room and tap her on the shoulder, get her to take her headphones out and say, yeah, by the way, you look good. She didn't need you to tell her that. She didn't. Oh, thank you. I mean, you made my day. I appreciate you, taking time out of your day to tell me how I look and giving me your perspective. Like, they don't need to hear it. Like, what I think about Cody, Madison, especially if they're not on the show, Logan and them, Hunter, and all the ones that are not on the show, they don't need to know what I feel about their father. It's unsolicited, and in some cases, a lot of cases, it's unwanted. Because that's just how it rolls. Like, just because I might look at Cody and be like, he ain't shit, but they might look at him and be like, you know what? He ain't shit, but he's still my daddy. You know what I mean? And how do I combat that? Yeah, but I mean, let me tell you all the things he didn't do as a father. Like, and I could be right all day, but it doesn't matter. Like, it's like, if we're going to stand on the fact that we're trying to protect these kids, then protect the kids, even if that means you got to protect them from yourself and from your perspectives. Because it does, like, when you say what you're going to say, does that help them? You think that Cody's an asshole, Robin's an asshole, that they mamas are assholes, they all assholes together? When you tell these kids, OG 13, that that's what you think, did you help them with your revelation? Did it improve their life in some way? Did you give them information they were unaware of? And that's, it's just kind of the do no harm thing. But let's get into some of these reactions. I don't want to go too far. Let's get into these reactions. I pulled this video because it struck me. I was like, what the shit? And we kind of talked about this before. We were talking about like the dating environment of dealing with some of these situations and how difficult it can be. And people having pride in themselves. Let's take a listen. First date going wrong.
Why are you splitting the check?
Because you're not going home with me.
What are you talking about?
It's our first date. You're not going home with me, so you know what I'm saying?
Why would I go home with you? This is our first date.
I'm paying my half, you paying your half.
But why? You asked me on a date.
I know.
So why are we splitting
accepted
it?
my invite.
Yeah, so why are we splitting it?
Because you got your meal, and I got my meal, so now...
But you said it was on you. That's why you invited me.
Yeah, like the invite was on me. Like,
so why you changing your mind?
I'm not changing my mind. You here, right?
Yeah,
I invited you to
but
come.
you said the meal was on you. That's why I came.
I think you might have misunderstood me.
Why are you splitting now? Why are you inviting me out on a date and now you want to go half? This is our
invited
first
you
date.
on a date, and that's exactly why we're going
You're
half.
only changing your mind because I'm not going home with you.
Listen, you can pay for your meal, I pay for mine, and if you want to do another date, we can do another date.
Why would I go on another?
He said, "You pay for your meal, I pay for mine. If you want to go on another date, we can go on another date." Why would I do this twice? Oh, let's get back to it.
Date with you, so you're really mad that I'm not going home with you. Why would I go home with you? What are we going to go to your house for? What do you want to go for?
We're going to watch Netflix. You know that new Straw movie that came out?
Why would I watch Netflix with you? We can go to the theaters. It's right next door. Thank you. I'm not understanding. You're being very, very weird.
I'm being
Just
weird.
go ahead and pay. It's only $30.
I'm going to pay my half, you pay your half.
It's only $30. You're being a cheapskate.
I'm not being cheap.
You're really about to split it.
Yeah,
$15.
Go ahead and pay for it.
Don't see. This is why you can't accept invites from men.
This is why you can't accept invites from men. No. Don't put that on men. Don't put that on men. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. That is not a man thing. Look, I have a rule. And like I said, I've talked about this before. If you invite somebody somewhere, then you should pay. If you say, hey, let's go to, they're a casual dining environment, little restaurant. Chili's, I think I saw on the wrappers. If you're at a Chili's or whatever, or Outback Steakhouse or whatever the case may be, and you say, hey, let's go to this place, anywhere that you got to, especially anywhere you can order your food without pulling a number, do it by numbers, then if you're taking them out of a piece, then you have to let them know up front that they're going to be paying. That's what I think. Right? If you're dedicated to the whole we going Dutch, which is like everybody pays their own meal, then I think it's on you to say, this is how we're doing it. We're going Dutch. Right? Before they get dressed, before they get in your car, before you get to the restaurant. The one thing I will say, and I mean this shit, girlfriend, don't beg this ass clown to pay for your meal. When he tell you that especially if he come out and he tell you the truth, I'm not going to pay for your meal because you're not trying to come back to my house. You go ahead and you pay for that shit yourself. You know why you pay for it yourself? Because you don't want to owe this asshole anything. You pay for that meal yourself, and then you walk out of there with your head up, and you be thankful. You say to yourself, you know what? I had to pay $15 for my little nacho plate and the drink or whatever. I got off cheap. Because it only cost me $15 to figure out what type of person I was dealing with. And be thankful. I happily pay that, $15 bill. Like, I'd happily pay that $20, $23, $24, right? Bill plus the tip. Happily will pay that shit. Thank you. You invite me out and try to pull some bullshit. There's also like this stupid ass thing that I see on the internet now that a lot of the young guys are going through. Because there are people I'm sure that do this. Like women are asked to go out on dates with you and try to get you to pay for food because they're not dating you. They're dating a diner or dating a restaurant. I get that shit. I get it. But I'm not going to I refuse to let social trends and social pressures change me and how I do stuff. If that's somebody who I'm interested in dating, if I invite her out, I wouldn't invite her anywhere I couldn't pay. Like I'm not trying to go, like I wouldn't invite her, especially on a first date. If I can't afford it, I'm not trying to get a couch cushion coin raid to try to figure out how I'm gonna take her to Ruth Chris or take her to someplace. If you're that pressed, you can't afford it. Right? But if you take her out and let her show her a good time. And there's a part of it that, you know, very succinctly, I think it begs the question, whatever happened to romance? Like sweeping somebody off their feet, making somebody feel special, making somebody feel like, because, bruh, let's be honest. These dudes is too straightforward. You know? These days is too straightforward. This guy's like, oh, I'll take you out to dinner. I'll eat half a hamburger. You didn't even eat all your meal. And you talking about you want to go back to the house to watch some Netflix? What? Whatever happened to the idea? Because I grew up different. I grew up in a different time. Instead of you asking a woman to, or telling a woman that you wanted to go back to your house, you make her want to go back to your house. There's a damn difference. Can we talk about that for a minute? There is a difference. If you not ask her, oh, all right, I'm gonna order the calamari, and I noticed a little price. The apps is a little pricey here, so if I let you order some hot wings or something, then you have to agree that we're gonna go back and mess around a little bit. Whatever happened to you letting it happen? You know what I mean? You put her in the mood to where she want to come back to your house. She asking you to come back to the crib. You know what? I'm kind of curious. I'll be thirsty as shit, man. I come stay get something to drink. Whatever happened to that? You know what I mean? I don't really gotta go home right now. I just want to hang out a little bit. Maybe we can talk at your place. Like, whatever happened to that? Trying to come up with agreements and shit. And then what happens? That also bothers me. That part bothers me just on the fact that if you play it all the way out, that bothers me too, because it almost implies that you can't ever change your mind. What's going on, Lit Mom? You can't ever change your mind. So if I agree to some shit early in the evening, now somehow I'm compelled to do some stuff later on. No matter what you do, what you say, or how you make me feel, I'm locked in because, I done messed around and ordered the crab legs. now you got to get your legs tossed up. Like, what? Crazy. Like, all this agreement shit is insane. Like, I'm not saying you don't, clearly you got to have permission and you got to have consent. That's ridiculous. But what I'm talking about is when you trying to pressure people into making like these commitments. That's crazy. All of a sudden, and I would be embarrassed if I was that dude, and then we'll go on to the next one. I would be embarrassed and humiliated if I sat there and I tried to pressure a woman for $15. I tried to press her for $15. Well, I mean, if you ain't gonna go back to my place, I ain't gonna pay this little $15. Like, oh my God. I'd be so humiliated. I have to get up from that table and go walk into traffic. Did some stupid shit like that. That's crazy. That's where I'm at, Kathy. I pay for my meal and then I go home. Pay your shit. Like, okay. Thank you. Because now, because I recognize that off the top. You say, what are some things you should look for and some red flags? To me, that's a big ass red flag. That's not only a red flag, that's a dude wearing a red outfit, dipped in red paint, waving a damn red flag on a red road. Okay? Because if he's going to do you like that on the first date, and again, this is the point where he's trying to impress you. So, yeah. I'm good. We got another one. Yeah, this one actually took me out a little bit. Because there's a few things to talk about with this one. But this is a woman goes for ultrasound and she runs into her baby daddy's wife. And they have a little bit of a confrontation. Uh-oh. Hold on.
Hey, play with me, was gonna put that car in your name.
You know what?
I'm here to get my ultrasound. I'm so excited. I don't know if I want a boy or a girl. Anyway.
Is you going in now?
Hi. Don't I know you?
From where?
Mark.
Mark.
Yeah.
Yeah, what about Mark?
Oh, but you know Mark?
Yeah, I know Mark.
Who is Mark to you?
That's my husband.
What's your husband?
Yeah, that's my husband.
Oh. I thought I knew you. But we having a baby.
Excuse me?
Yes, we having a baby.
You say y'all having a baby?
Yes. Me and
Okay.
Mark is having a baby.
Okay, I think you probably got the wrong Mark.
No, that's the right Mark. Mark Henderson.
Okay. So why Mark never brought this to my attention?
Because
Yeah, some of these I always look at this and I always say, you know, this don't look real. This don't look real. This is not how people really react. This might be put together like a TLC producer. I picked it though. I picked it because I think that, you know, I'm old school. Like I said, I'm old school. There was a movie out with Michael Douglas and Sharon Stone called I'm about to say The Deadliest Catch. That wasn't it. Damn it, Fatal Attraction. Right? And what that movie revealed, it was a horror movie. And what it was you had a guy who was a good-looking dude, young guy, you know, heartthrob at the time. He's married with kids. He started messing with this woman. Then this woman doesn't let the relationship go. She starts to assert herself. Right? And part of the reason why I think that this is relevant is the same way I approach Sister Wives, because I think a lot of that is put together too. But it's the same way I approach Sister Wives. Because when you're in these types of relationships and you are following around behind your sexual desires and things of that nature, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and knock this off, you know, and you doing all that bullshit, what can easily happen is that you turn around and you mess with the wrong one. It's so easy for you to mess with the wrong one, because this clearly would be a setup. Like the woman coming out of the clinic. Oh no, we could say that this is a skit. Like this actually might be a skit, but this is what they used to say in them the murder 911 or not wives with knives and anything that's on ID. You know, this is a dramatization of actual events. This is how the shit go down. This is how it go down. Because you do have women who mess around with dudes who are married, and in some cases married with new babies and an entire family, and they will walk up to the wife and say shit to the wife like, oh, ain't you so-and-so? Yeah, let me tell you, because your husband has been knocking my boots this whole time, and I needed to let you know, because that way you can get out of the way. And it will blow your life up. So that's why I posted this on. But let's let it play.
he's trying to find a way to leave you.
Find a way to leave me.
Yep.
And what makes you think that he's going to leave me?
Because he's with me every single night.
Oh, is he?
Yes.
Oh.
And that's the trap in the most side chicks. They always assume that the dude is right around the corner from leaving. Quick note, if a man is going to leave his wife, he would have already left his wife. He ain't sitting around waiting for what he waiting for. The situation is going to improve in 5, 6, 7 years or in 2 months. It's not like it's going to hurt her next. You know, if I break up with her and I leave her for you, it's not going to be so bad around Christmas, you know, because I'm going to give her a nice present. And then when I leave, she's going to be so overwhelmed with all the nice gifts I gave her, she not even going to recognize I'm gone. That's not a thing. That is not a thing. What's going to happen is they all look, it's between I'm going to leave my wife, I'm going to leave my husband, and another consistency you always hear in these situations, just facts. Nobody who is cheating on their wife or their husband is in a happy relationship. There's not one person who comes out like, yeah, you know what? My wife is the shit. She's awesome. She's an amazing person. She fulfills all my needs. She supports me 100%. I'm going to be a super duper asshole, double ply asshole. I want to cheat on her and abandon her and betray her. But even though she's the shit, she's doing everything to make the relationship work, and I'm about to destroy it. Nobody has ever said that. Everybody who cheats is cheating because their relationship is on the rocks. It's about to break up. She don't understand me no more. She don't sleep with me like she used to. There's all kinds of problems. Oh, speaking of sex, I mean, I haven't slept with her in months, if not years. Nobody say, yeah, she turned my ass out this morning. She turned me out like a t-shirt. This morning, before I came on this date, oh yeah, boy, she had, man. Let me tell you about this woman. Nobody says that. So you have people who will walk into these situations thinking that they coming in armed, fully loaded, and they telling these wives that their husband is about to leave them. And they on the way out. I'm letting you know. He about to leave your ass. Because he loved me. We love each other. What we have is special. I'm going to let this play.
Okay, are you sure?
I'm positive.
Okay, I'm gonna probably need to call Mark about
Well, you need to call Mark.
Okay, and if he is with you every single night, I bet you he's with you for your money.
No, he take your money and he give it to me, baby. You see that white Benz over there? He bought that for me last year.
Oh, I don't think so.
Ma'am, can you not walk up on me?
I don't think so.
Can you not walk up on me, ma'am?
So.
Ma'am, can
No,
you
I
not
don't
walk?
So.
I think so.
You want to play with me,
I
young
think so.
lady. I don't think he want to
Hey,
play with me.
you know what? He was gonna put that car in your name.
You know what?
He was gonna put that car in your
You
name.
know what? I'm gonna give you a pass.
Give me a pass,
I'm
baby.
gonna give you a pass because I'm not gonna even act ignorant out
I don't know if I'm having a boy or a girl, but whatever I have, I will let you know next time I see you. Okay?
Whoa. Look. People, James, this is probably fake. It probably is fake. It does kind of hit me as fake too. But I'm going to tell you, I've seen more than my fair share of people doing dumb shit like this. That's why I included it. I've seen people do shit like this. I remember having a conversation with somebody and they said something to that effect. Like, James, you know what I'm going to do? This woman was started messing with this guy who was married. I think I told this story on the show before. She was messing with this guy who was already married. She knew he was married when she started talking to him and thought she was cool with being the other woman. Then she found out that like the guy was deceptive in some of the things he said because he was talking about how they wasn't really messing around and all the stuff I said before. Turns out they had just bought a house the year before when she had her baby with this dude. So now they have an infant baby. And the woman I knew, she would go drive by the house and they would be sitting in the living room with the shades open, all as a family watching TV. You know, she's holding the baby. He's holding her. And they all watching TV. And she would sit there and she like, you know, I feel like I'm going to go up and talk to this woman and tell her what's going on. Stop right there. Don't you walk up to that woman and tell her no dumb shit. Don't you walk up to her and tell her no dumb shit. Unless you trying to get your hat brought to the hospital. Because I'm telling you, there ain't going to be nothing left. Because you fitting to go up to her and blow her life up. You're offended because you thought you were getting one thing and it turned out to be something else. She has no idea about you. You knew what the score was. That woman will put and stop walking up on people. I've said this shit before. Stop walking up on these women while they doing gardening work. They out there doing lawn work. They got shovels and shit in their hand. Stop walking up on them to tell them that you cheating on their husband. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you, your husband ain't shit. He cheating on us. That woman got a shovel. She'll put you in the ground. Stop walking up on him. He ain't cheating on y'all. He's cheating on her. Okay? You are not, you the girlfriend. You are not, that's his wife. That's that man's wife. Now, the one thing I'll say, and then we can go on to the next one, because I got another one, y'all. But the one thing I will say about this is that when you start having babies with people who are married and the road ain't clear, and you start making families with them, again, if this man said, if he told you that he's going to leave his wife, my opinion, he would have already left his wife. When you got pregnant, if he didn't say go home right away and say, you know what, I got to leave, baby, because I got to take care of my family, I'm out of here. He is not leaving his wife. Now, what does that mean for you? That could mean a couple things. Because he doesn't leave his wife, you have some women, surprise, surprise. Where my girl at? Hold on now. Where my girl at? Because I'm telling you, you got some women who you run up to them and tell them, girl, let me tell you about what your man been doing behind your back. He been blah, 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 blah. And we've been messing around, flipping and flopping, dipping and dropping and jumping up and down and doing the naked Watusi. And she,
Surprise, surprise. Surprise, surprise.
and you turn around and guess what? She cool with it. You tell her that, oh yeah, he been knocking me down. He been doing all kinds of freaky ass shit to me. Girl, he do stuff. Don't have him eat off the good dishes at the house because my man done put his mouth everywhere his mouth shouldn't be. He put his mouth in places where that ain't meant for faces. And then you gonna sit there and you gonna say all that shit to her. She gonna look you in the face and say, and what's your problem is? I don't understand why you telling me all this. And because she know. Sometimes these women and these men, they know they people out there messing around. It's not a surprise to them. They've already turned that corner. So you telling them that they messing around with you, oh, you just another one who's coming back complaining because he must have told you he don't want to see you no more. Oh, well, thanks for coming out. Thanks for playing. See you later. Bye. You can't assume that everybody's going to, you won't affect them all crazy. Another angle to that. You get that, you have that baby and you guys aren't together. He's the father of that child. Now, I'm assuming that you driving around in his car, supposedly, that you want to expect him to pay some child support. So you want to take him to court, he's going to pay some child support. But when you take him to court, he files for child custody and he at least gets visitation. What's going to happen when he come back and say he want to take that baby home to his wife, who gets to sit there and look at little receipt for the weekend? Because that's what your baby is at that point. Your baby a damn receipt that he was cheating on her. He or she is a walking, living, breathing receipt of the fact of her husband infidelity. And you want to send that reminder over there to her house every other weekend? Worst case scenario, okay, fine. She don't treat the baby good. What happens if she really get excited about it? Not only does she get excited about it, but she want the baby. I don't want the baby. Oh, we need a baby. We need to come here. We need to sue her for full custody or some shit. What happens? And you doing all that laughing and shit. And that last thing I'm gonna say on this, and then we're gonna jump to the next one. Fellas, if there's any fellas listening, stop messing around with these young ones. Get somebody with some damn sense in their head. Right? That young girl shit. Bruh. All that's young girl shit. Going up to a woman, trying to interrupt her peace, that's young girl shit. And young girls will blow your life up. Because I think that's the one thing that you got to recognize. Cheating, like I know we see it in movies and on TV, but when you talking about cheating, in grade school, middle school, high school, you cheat on somebody, you took their prime date away. Maybe the guy don't get to hold a hand or get the bragging point of saying he dating the head cheerleader or the captain of the football team. But when you talking about, you get older and you talking about marriage, You talking about altering that person's life. You talking about changing their life. And some people do not take that change easy. So it's just dumb to me. But this last one, you have a young lady, a mother whose child, a baby dad, she has 6 kids. The baby dad wants to take his child. Of the 6, he has 1 child with her. He wants to take the child with his parents on vacation. And this is how she reacts. Hold on a second. There we go.
Did you to Disneyland?
Yeah.
Hold on.
Okay, well, I told him the only way. Okay. You know how Daddy invited you to Disneyland?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I told him the only way you can go is if he takes all 6 kids. So he has to buy your siblings, 5, your sisters or brothers, tickets and take them, because the days that he wants you to go to Disneyland are the days that you were supposed to watch the babies while I'm away on my girls' trip. So the only way he can take you is if he takes all 6 kids, okay? Okay, are you okay about that? What if he doesn't take all 6? Oh, honey.
I'm gonna tell y'all right now. Somebody did some stupid shit like that to me. That would be Exhibit A in my lawsuit for custody. That's Exhibit A. Because what? What? You know what I mean? The ghetto trash mother. What? That is the most ridiculous shit ever. And like you put on the baby, like, oh, okay, well, because I'm not gonna let you go to Disney with his family because you're supposed to be babysitting. So parentification of the kids, putting responsibilities on her, that because she don't look like she old enough to be, but like you going out of town or to hang out with your girlfriends, that girl don't look like she old enough to be taking care of no babies. What are you doing with your life? Something happened at the house, everybody in trouble. They're gonna be taping that whole block off. The first thing. Second thing, you worried about you going on a trip. Instead of you worrying about you going on a trip, why don't you take your kids on the trip? Why don't you pay for the other 5 to go? Selfish. Selfish ass, boy. And then a father, like, I get it. Like, it would be nice if they had the type of relationship where, the guy would say, you know what? I raised these kids. I was around them. I'm going on vacation. I'm cool enough with them. I'm going to take them too. That would be nice. That would be very nice. Here's the thing. It's not required. Why should I be denied time with my kid and building a relationship and memories with my child because they so happen to have siblings? And if the situation was reversed, say he went out and bought 6 tickets because he wanted to take the kids down to Disney and Universal Studios theme parks, right? Is she under obligation to turn kids over that ain't his to him so he could take them to another state or on vacation? Hell no. I've known guys who date women and as a result partially raise children with those partners only to have the relationship break up and be told that they can no longer have a relationship with the kids who they've grown attached to. I've known people who've gone through that. I've known grandparents. There's a guy I'm thinking about. Grandparents. Their daughter had passed away. Her baby dad turned around and said, "You know what? I don't feel comfortable. My new girlfriend doesn't feel comfortable having you guys around because you're my ex's parents, so you can't see the kids no more." People invest in kids like that all the time, and they're told that they can't continue these relationships. So it seems counterintuitive to me that somehow I can't take my child to a vacation so that they can spend time with me, get to know me, and get to know my parents and my people, because this will only help to improve them and their lifestyle and their mentality. And I'm told I can't do it because I'm not coming out of my pocket. It's also hilarious to me, like she started talking about like all the stuff he needs to do. Right? The shit's crazy. Yeah, Ann said Disney's expensive. Yeah, it is. It is now. It wasn't back in the day when my family used to go to Disney when I was a kid. I've taken my kids to Disney, but yeah, that shit, boy, that is not like for me. It's not we're going every year. No, that's one of them. Well, y'all seen it now. That's it. I know we ain't going to parks. You seen the place though, right? Yeah, because some parks are expensive. And here's a little pro tip. Pro tip: you go down to Disney, get the maps, plan what you want to do that day. Like, take a look at like what the attractions are. And the time I went, I took my kids down there. I looked at the map and I was like, as big as this park is, they have so many distractions. And it's just my opinion. There's so many distractions down there and so many like things you stop and look at and take pictures of like characters and shit that I realized, especially growing up in not too far from like amusement parks. Spent a lot of time in amusement parks as a child. They don't have a lot of rides at a lot of them big parks, like Magic Kingdom, Epcot. Was it Magic Kingdom, Epcot, and the studios? They don't have a lot of rides. They might have maybe 5 real featured rides at some of these parks, but they're all about a mile, 2 miles away from each other. So you spend most of the day walking your ass off and standing in line, and then they have the distractions while you're in line that you feel like you're doing some shit. But you, at the end of the day, if you really take a step back at it and look at it, you haven't done anything. Like if it was a smaller park, you would be done probably in about 40 minutes. But you, like I said, you spend so much time walking around, and they have distractive stuff like, oh, now you're going into small town. Now you're going into world's cafes or whatever. And you walk through and it's a bunch of like visually stimulating things, but there's not a whole lot of attractions there. And I found that at least in my experience, I'm not putting down Disney because the rides they do have, primo fucking rides. Primo rides. Right, the rides is crazy, because they had animatronics back in like the 80s. They had robots and stuff back in the 80s, so they were decent. So now it's just like it's crazy, but it's for what they charge you, yeah, it's insane. It's insane, especially when you take a step back and like I said, you like, oh, I paid $100 for 5 rides. $20 per person per ride. What? But yeah, when it comes to this lady I just played, guess what, y'all?
But wait, there's more.
There's more. Oops, picked the wrong one. Hold on. Here we go. Thought that one went off too smooth.
To go to Disney World with her father and yes, I am the mother going viral right now because I will not allow my daughter to go to Disney World with her father and his side of the family unless he takes my 5 other kids. Here's the thing. We are not together. okay, right now. We were together at one time, and my 5 kids used to call him daddy. Okay? He was their
Your fault.
stepfather. I am not going to punish 5 of my 6 kids just because he can't be a man and take all 6. Okay? I am not entitled. I am not selfish. My daughter doesn't even want to go unless the rest of her siblings can go.
That's a damn lie. That's a damn lie. And whether she want to go or not, irrelevant. She needs to go and spend time with her parent. If you have a parent who is willing and able and competent to take care of your children, you're only helping that child by having them spend time with that parent. Why? Like I said before, the whole idea of like it takes a village to raise a child, it only helps the child to know, for that child to know that they have more of a support system than just mom sitting there being a selfish asshole. That's ridiculous. She's a ridiculous person. My daughter doesn't even want to go. So if your daughter don't want to go, why you think 5 kids who don't belong in it with him want to go? If his daughter don't want to go and spend time with her family, why would the other 5 kids want to go? You silly ass rabbit.
I need a little break. So he needs to man the hell up and take all 6.
I need a little break. I need some time off because I'll be doing this by myself. Look, I get it. Being a parent is hard. That shit is difficult, right? There's no easy mode on it. It's hard. But one, these are your children. These kids are your responsibility. These are your responsibilities. 2, he's not responsible for your break. Y'all not together no more. You need to find a break on where you can find a break. Contact your family. And another thing, stop trying to shame this dude. Oh, if he was a man, he would let me use him. Stop that dumb shit. If he was a man, he would let me use him. But because he won't let me take advantage of him, he a big old not man.
I'm not going to apologize, okay? And if
No, you
you
won't.
really want to see, if you really actually cared that my daughter goes to Disney World, you would contribute. I have over 244,000 followers. You would make it so all 6 kids could go. So if not,
That shit is so crazy. That shit is so crazy. You would make, you guys who watch these videos and criticize me, you would make sure that my kids could go to Disney World. You have somebody in there, adult person, Kathy Ferran says she ain't never been to Disney World. What the fuck would she look like paying for your kids to go to damn Disney World? She ain't never been to damn Disney World. First part. Second part. Of all the entitled bullshit, and this is the part that drives me a little crazy. You have 240,000 subscribers, and I'm losing subscribers. They're losing subscribers and sister wives in it. And they sit there with 240,000 subscribers. This lunatic talk about how dude ain't a man because he ain't trying to pay for all her kids to go somewhere. When I got with him, I had 5 kids, 4 different baby daddies already. And then I popped off one more. And then I got another child. And then, he should be able to pay for all of them because all these men should take care of me because I have their kids. Like, a man is not a plan, sweetheart. Let me tell you that first part. A man is not a damn plan. 2, you got to start doing for yourself. 3, instead of you looking for somebody else to pay for your kids to go to Disney World and give you that experience, that's something you should be trying to do for yourself and for your kids. And the first part of that might be maybe instead of you trying to go out and do girls' trips and hang out with your friends, maybe try to do something for your kids. Oops. 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 You know what I mean? Instead of you trying to figure out how you can have some fun for yourself, why don't you figure out how to make something happen for your kids? Silly ass rabbit. You know, like if you want to have that experience, and I get it. Like it would if I was in that situation, it would hurt my feelings if somebody else came in and they were going to have an experience without me. But if I want them to have that experience, I'm gonna do everything in my power to make sure that they have that experience. And I'm not going to rely on somebody else to give them that experience. And hopefully, out of the kindness and goodness of their heart, they decide to drag along some kids they ain't got nothing to do with. That's crazy to me. You know, that's crazy to me. And the fact, like, if you say it with your whole chest, if you guys care about my daughter, y'all would pay for her to go to Disney World. Why would I pay for her to go to Disney World? Her damn daddy trying to pay for her to go to Disney World. Her daddy and her daddy's people trying to pay for her to go to Disney World. She already got a ticket. You just jealous because he's trying to do something for his kids. And I get it. Like, it is hard. It's a hard conversation, but that's just the reality of your situation. You have different dads for your kids. Yeah, if you have one dad that's like super involved and you have another dad who's deadbeat, the kid whose dad is trying to be around and trying to be involved, that kid should not be punished because the other parent ain't doing what they supposed to be doing. That doesn't make sense to me either. And another thing, and I'm gonna end on this part because I think this is the most important part. Stop dragging your fucking kids in between your problems. Stop dragging your kids into your disagreements, your arguments, and your positions against this other person. He ain't a man. Your dad ain't a man because he need to make sure he taking care of some kids that ain't his, and that's why he can't do nothing. That's a conversation that never should have took place in front of that little girl. You say whatever you want to say to him, get stupid, get wild, do whatever you got to do. But that conversation never should have took place in front of that little girl. You know? Because that only hurts her. Like, it is one of the things we talked about earlier. You're not helping her by talking crap about her dad to her. Especially if she loves her father. You put her in a situation where she feels like, if I love my mom and I want to be loyal to my mom, she's mad at my dad, and I feel a certain kind of way about my dad. Now I either have to hide how I feel, or I have to cut my father off to make my mother feel better. And maybe the mom would love that shit. But here's the thing I've also discovered in my travels. You'll always have like the mom or the dad who want to sit around and talk about how this other parent ain't shit and how they not doing this and not doing that, and they the worst thing in the world, and oh my goodness, they should never be around these kids. Then as soon as the kids start messing up, they hit their teen years, start acting up, or as the old folks back in the day used to say, they mess around, start smelling themselves, and they start acting out, acting wild. Now all of a sudden you want to call the other parent in to try to regulate some shit. How they gonna regulate anything when you done spent the last 10, 15 years telling this child that person ain't shit and their opinions ain't nothing and they garbage ass people and he don't know what it's like to be a man? How you gonna tell your kid that they need to listen to this man who don't know how to be a man? I need a break too. You would have had a break. That's why I say, like, you know what I mean? It's jacked up. But here's the thing. When you, and I'm not like, it's not even a criticism, it's just a reality of the situation. If you have multiple baby fathers or multiple baby moms, it is so difficult for you to try to, especially if everybody's trying to be involved to different levels of involvement, granted, but everybody's trying to be involved. It is so difficult for you to synthesize your schedule so that you have a clear weekend or you have a clear night off. Because if you have one parent and multiple kids with that one parent, when they say they're going to come and get little Tommy Two Tones, Crumb Crusher Chris, and Snot Nose Sam, when they say they coming to get them, you're taking all them kids out of the house at the same time. But when you got the one dad got the first weekend, second dad got first and third weekend, second dad got second and fourth weekend, third dad he come by only on Wednesdays, fourth dad he come by every other Tuesday when he on work swing shift. Like, it's so much, you never get a break. And because this is what you chose, this is what you chose. But again, stop pulling these kids into the middle of this shit. Now I know I dropped these three. I'm gonna try to figure out how to streamline a little better. But if you guys want to leave a SpeakPipe, or on Tuesday we have the call-in show, if you want to comment on any of this, you are free to do it. All right. Now, before we go, I want to make sure I give a shout out to the folks who supported the show this evening. We have Negla3 with the super chat and gifted One My Take on Reality memberships. Don't forget to come in on Saturday when we have the Saturday show. It's hopefully will be awesome per usual. You guys can meet and talk, chat with Negla3, and if you get a membership, you can thank her in person. Awesome. But before we go, I want to make sure we do something that we've been doing historically, and that is putting hearts in the chat. We like to put hearts in the chat to support people who just need to be supported. Everybody needs a little help sometimes. So let's get some hearts in the chat for people who may be going through some things, maybe things we don't know about. And frankly, we don't have to know about it. We don't have to know everything. Just know we got your back, right? So let's put general hearts in the chat. Let's get them in there for Jody Periscala, Carmel Cuties, Megatron, Miss Betty, Kathy Ferran, Allison Gaines, Marlo Peterson, and Ann Team. And again, with something that Carmel Cuties said that really struck a nerve for me. Make sure you check in on not only your neighbors and the elderly, but make sure you check on the people who seem like they have everything together and they got it all figured out, right? Because they struggle too, and life happens to them as well. And that's one of the things that is easy to look past that, especially when it seems like somebody has everything figured out and they just, every time I get in a problem, this is my go-to person, and they always seem to have the answers. They're so smart, so wise. I want to tell you from personal experience, you may give great advice, a person who gives great advice, but sometimes, dare I say, you have people who give great advice, but they have a very difficult time following their own advice. Okay. If something was happening to you, they could look it up, pick it up, and put it down in 3 seconds. Exactly what's going on, how you need to fix it, what you need to do. But if they are going through that same situation in their life, it may affect them in a situation because they're so close to it that they can't do it. And there's pain involved now, so that augments a lot of your decision making. So they need you to support them. They need you to ask them, hey, man, you okay? Hey, man, sometimes you need that person that's going to just knock you back on track, kind of restart you, jumpstart you, so that you can be on track and doing the right thing. So that's one of the big things for me, especially is just making sure you're supporting people who, especially people who spend a lot of time, energy, and effort supporting you. Don't just be the person who takes and takes and takes from that person and then puts them in a situation where they don't even feel human anymore. One of the craziest things is I've seen situations where, like, I've dealt with popularity and things of that nature when I was younger. And they used to amaze me all the time. I would talk to some of my younger cousins and stuff. They're like, I want to be popular. And I would tell them, like, being popular sucks. It does. It sucks. Because you could walk, like when I was in college, for instance, I could walk through college. Like I walk through the campus and I spent most of my time, I was like the mayor of the town. I walk by, hey, what's going on? Shaking hands and high fiving people, waving and shit. But it could be a very lonely experience because too often people will break you down and only see you in the way that you present yourself. And because they expect certain things from you, it becomes very difficult for you to experience the full range of human emotion. So as you go through things and you try to explain to them, like, this is what's happening with me. These are some of the issues and problems I have. These are some of the things that I'm facing. They don't want to hear that shit from you. They want to hear, hey, no, I'm not used to you being sad. I'm used to you smiling all the time, making everybody else feel better. So that's why I say you got to look out for the people who are who always seem like they have it together, because there is then two, like, there's a point of embarrassment because you are the person who normally has it all together and figured out, buttoned up, and now you're going through things, and pride is a mother, because it'll keep you from feeling like you can just relate to people and say, like, yeah, I'm going through it too. Like, oh, you come to me with your problems all the time. And now I got to tell you that I'm going through some stuff too. So I'm going to just keep it to myself. So don't be afraid for my strong people. Don't be afraid to admit that if things aren't okay, that things aren't okay. And if you have people like that in your life, don't be afraid to look at their situation and recognize that they might not be doing well, that they might be going through some things. All of a sudden, one minute they got 8 streaming networks they give you access to. Now all of a sudden they on basic they on basic TV, and they got rabbit ear converters on all 8 television sets trying to catch signals out the sky. Like, recognize that person might not be doing well. Something might have changed in them. And like most people who need that encouragement, they aren't necessarily looking for you to solve their problems, but what they might need is tomorrow. I don't need you to fix everything today. I just need you to convince me to wait till tomorrow. Don't do shit today. Don't quit your job. Don't, cuss nobody out. God forbid, don't put your hands on nobody. Do that shit tomorrow. Just get through the day. And that's what they need. You know what I mean? So it's the little things. But yeah, thank you guys so much. Want to give a huge shout out to our Mega Mod Squad. We have Lizzie B. I think she's still on vacation, but we had Carmel Cuties in the house the whole time. I saw her in there banging it up. Of course, Brittany and Brittany. But thank you guys so much for all that you do, holding us down. Especially Carmel Cuties up in the house doing a thing. Yeah, but hopefully let me know what you guys think about the new format and how we're moving forward. Don't forget to like the video, share the video, and all that good stuff. Subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notification. But thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. Listen to me prattle on about foolishness. I appreciate you. We will be back on Saturday for the okay, that's why I'm messing with my car. We'll be back on Saturday for the members roundtable, and then Sunday we'll be back at 8 o'clock so we can talk some more of our stuff. Hold on one second. We had Ty gifted one My Take on Reality membership. Thank you so much, Ty. Get a little something. All right, Ty. Give a little something to the Mega Mod Squad as well as to the people in the chat. All right, but thank you guys so much for hanging out. That's my take. I'm James, and this has been My Take on Reality. and I'm out.
Cause I've been living